everyone. It's Mayor Jeff Lehman. Happy Canada Day. And before I start today, I want to acknowledge that our Canada Day celebrations, even virtually as they are here in Barrie, are situated on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe people. The Anishinaabe include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. And we're dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation with all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Here on Canada Day, we have so much to be thankful for, of course, and we have a great celebration today online of all the things that make Canada great for you. Our virtual Canada Day celebration, unfortunately, has to replace that magic that is Barrie on Canada Day on any other year. But with COVID this year, of course, we've had to learn to do a lot of things differently. And this is no different. Instead of the fireworks this year and instead of the live music and the gatherings that we've come to enjoy, we've planned a virtual celebration for you, an entire day's worth of content. And I'm so pleased that you can join us for some or all of that. As a Canadian, I'll tell you, I've never been more proud to be a Canadian. Although COVID-19 has been a time of tragedy and it's shown us some of our failings as a society, we have much to be proud of in our response. And most of all, that as Canadians, by and large, we banded together to do this incredibly difficult thing. We shut down normal life. We shut down so much of our economy. We stayed home, stayed distant, put relationships on hold, put businesses on hold, put all kinds of activities on hold, and had to learn new ways of doing things. But by doing that, we've largely stopped the spread. And as we sit here a few days before Canada Day, or now today on Canada Day, we can be proud of the way that we've responded as Canadians. We've responded largely with compassion for one another, with an understanding that we had a civic duty over the last 3 months, a duty to one another to stop the spread. And we did that. And now today we are able to move forward in some ways with reopening carefully, still taking those precautions in the hopes that we won't have to do this again. But for now, for today, let us celebrate what does make this country great. Diversity and inclusion, and a belief that we are each other's keepers, that we need to reach out to people across our communities of all walks of life, all backgrounds, of all income levels, of all races. In that great experiment that is Canada, our diversity is our strength, and our response to COVID-19 shows that we maintain a strong sense of what it is to look out for one another as Canadians. So thank you for doing that over the past 3 months. And I hope today you're able to celebrate in some way with our celebration here today, and with your family and friends, within your social bubbles and within your parts of the community, to be able to celebrate the country that we all love. Happy Canada Day, Barrie, and stay strong.
Thank you to our community heroes.
Bonjour, Nimkinen Adishnikas, Maingun Dodam Komakong Donjaba. I'm here today to say hello, Hani, and wish everybody a happy Ganata Day. In our language, we say Ganata, which means the village, or like a big village. And also another cool little thing, food for thought, is Ottawa. You know, that I'm from the Odawa tribe, and what that means is to trade. So Ottawa, a long time ago, was a place of trade before there was any parliament buildings around or all that stuff. And so I'm just here to wish everybody a happy July 1st. Chimigwech, to a big thank you to Kingsville for having me share the hoop dance. For the ones that don't know what the hoop dance is, it's a storytelling dance. It tells a story of all of creation, how we are all a part of, you know, the circle of life. And we honor the plants, we honor the winged nation, we honor the insect nation, and last but not least, we honor the four-legged nation. And we believe they all have a spirit, and so keep an open mind and remember that all of creation has a purpose here, just like you and I. So with that, I just want to say miigwech, big thank you, big gratitudes. Bama P. We'll see you until next time. Barry. Abuju Nimkinena Dishnakaz Maingundo Damu Komakong Donjaba. My spirit name is Nimkinena, which means Thunderman. I'm Odawa and Potawatomi from Wikwemkong Sing, unceded First Nations, located in Manitoulin Island. I'm here to say welcome everybody and to wish everyone a happy Kanata Day. Kanata in our language, it talks about is the village. And so also another food for thought is the capital, Ottawa. I just introduced myself. I'm from the Odawa tribe, and so we're known as the people of trade. And so that was the spot where all indigenous people and non-indigenous people, you know, that was a place of trade. Because if we look at all the lakes, those were our old highway systems. And so yeah, this little food for thought. Also, you're about to witness is what we call as a hoop dance. For the ones who've never seen a hoop dance before, it is a storytelling dance. It tells a story about all of creation and how we are all a part of this circle, this cycle of life. And through this dance, we honor the winged nation, we honor the plant nation, the insect nation, and the four-legged nation. And what we all have in common is we all have a spirit, we're all alive, and we're all here as Shkakamekwe, Mother Earth's children. And so we're taught, you know, we all have a purpose in life. Every blade of grass, every plant you see here today, every animal, we all have, you know, our purpose. And so just remember that we all have a spirit. So with that, I just want to say miigwech, a big thank you to everybody out there tuning in right now. Say miigwech, that's, and we say chimigwech when, you know, just thank you is not good enough and you want to give, you know, more gratitude, more hugs. So I just want to say, Bama P. Minwa, I'll see you later. Until next time. Miigwech. And thank you to Barry for having us here sharing our cultural. I just want to say miigwech. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Hi everyone, it's John Broussard, Member of Parliament for Barrie Innisfil. On this Canada Day, this year more than any other year, it's important to reflect on why we should be proud of our country and proud to be Canadian. We are truly fortunate to live in Canada. And being Canadian to me is about respecting the values and principles that this country was founded upon. Values like freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. Not only were these values defended with the lives of the generations that preceded us, but these values have always stood brave in the face of tyranny, oppression, racism, and discrimination, and we must continue to defend them. And while we may not always agree, as a Canadian, we have always been compassionate, empathetic, decent, and respectful of each other, and we must continue to be that way. Because it is for these reasons and many more that you and I, just simply by being Canadian, have inspired people from around the world to make Canada their home. A home where many for the first time have been free to speak, free to worship, free to love who they choose, and free to pursue their hopes and dreams for their families. On behalf of my family and my staff, I want to wish you a very happy Canada Day. And I'll leave you with these words spoken by Prime Minister John Diefenbaker in the House of Commons on Canada Day, July 1st, 1960. He said, "I am Canadian, a free Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to worship God in my own way, free to stand for what I think right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to choose those who govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and all mankind."
Hello, Barry. How you doing? I'm Fire Guy, and you know, I'm not the type of person to do silly, frivolous effects. No, of course not. I'm here for you on this virtual Canada Day. But I gotta say something to Barry. You know what's loony? I'll tell you what's loony. There's a place in the Hudson's Bay where gravity is less. And I think that's pretty loony. How can that be, you're saying, Barry? Well, I'll show you with this English muffin. Imagine, if you will, that sitting on the crust of the Hudson's Bay was a ice shelf bigger than a glacier, kilometers thick. And it was pressing down for centuries and millennia. So what happened was, let me just show this really close here, Barry, so you really get to see it. It was pressing right down on it. But as it melted, the earth started to push itself up. But it's still pushing itself up. So if you happen to be in the Hudson's Bay and you feel light on your feet, maybe you're in the right place. You know what's toony? Toony? Yes, I'll tell you what's toony. Toilet paper is toony. Why is toilet paper toony? Because at one point, many Canadians thought they were going to run out of toilet paper, and they started hoarding it. It's an effect, children, that we like to call mass hysteria. And so what happens is that people think that there is a scarcity of something, and they want to stock up on it. Now, I want you to look at this flag here. What do you see, kids? If you're like me, you see a maple leaf. Now, why would Canada have a maple leaf? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we have a ton of trees. And what is toilet paper made out of? Trees! Well, I'm going to do something right here. I'm going to take this toilet paper and I'm going to light it on fire because I know we got plenty of toilet paper to go around. So let's put this whole toilet paper experience behind us because the toilet paper, the toilet paper goes behind you, not in front of you. So we're going to take the toilet paper that we just burnt, and we're going to take it out, and we're going to go, and we're going to take this, and check this out. If I'm right, we've just fully restored the toilet paper as if it has never been burnt berry. That's tough toilet paper. Well, you know what's gold? I'll tell you what's gold, and this is a gold coin, is juggling is gold, boys and girls. Yes. Now, why is juggling gold? Well, because your brain actually grows when you learn how to juggle. Yep, in 3 key regions of the brain. It's been proven that if someone learns how to juggle, they can grow their brain. So, kids, I want you to grow your brains right now in Barrie. It's time for Fire Guys Berry Brains. Go to your fridge, get 3 eggs. Come back here, and we're going to juggle. Of course, we're not going to do that. But go to your sock drawer and grab 3 socks. And what we're going to do with the socks is we're going to roll them up into little balls. And we're going to learn how to juggle with 3 socks. Now, where do you think you want to start? Probably 1 sock. And I like to call it grade 1. So, Barrie, get your socks out. We're going to learn how to juggle. We're going to start with 1 sock. Do grade 1. What's grade 1? Well, I'll show you right now. From one hand to the other. One hand to the other. One hand to the other. You know what, Barrie? I just think you passed grade 1. What do? Grade 2. 2 socks. One hand, a sock. The other hand, a sock. And you throw one and you throw the other underneath. One, underneath. It's crossing underneath. You throw and then you catch. You throw and then you catch. I think we just passed grade 2, Barrie. Well, I don't know about you and me. It's time to get to grade 3. Grade 3 is with 3 socks, obviously. We're going to start with the hand that has 2 socks in it. The other hand has 1 sock in it. We're going to throw one to the other. We're going to throw one under, and we're going to keep throwing. This is what makes your brain grow because we're not used to the concept of infinity. And you know what, folks? I could keep doing this forever. But you don't want to see that. It's a virtual Canada Day. I'm the Fire Guy. I'm done. I'm well done, Barrie. Man, I hope to see you at Celebrate Barrie in 2021. I hope to see you New Year's Eve. I just hope to see you, Barrie. I miss you. Thank you so much for having me as part of your virtual Canada Day. Oh, yeah.
Happy Canada Day, Barrie. My name's Caitlin and I'm with Science North, and today I've got all kinds of experiments that explain why I love Canada so much. And one of the biggest reasons is Canada supports science. And science is important because it gives us a different view of the world. It explains why every single thing works. So stay tuned for some awesome experiments, and shout out to the Government of Canada for sponsoring this event. One of the reasons I love Canada so much is that many of us get 4 distinct seasons, even snow. And we get animals that are able to survive this cold because of their adaptations. And one of those animals has a jaw this big, a polar bear. Now, polar bears are able to swim in very, very cold waters because of their fur, but also because of something else, because of the fat underneath their skin. And some animals have this, and it's called blubber. So you can see here, we're going to do an experiment to show you how insulating blubber, or the fat underneath these animals' skin, works. So in front of me, you can see I've got a thermal camera. So what we're going to do is I've got a bucket of really cold water right here. Now, first things first, we're gonna see how warm my hands are. So you can see how they're red in the middle. That means warm. So red is warm, blue is cold. So my fingertips are a little bit cold. If I my nose is always cold. So our experiment is I'm gonna put one hand with no protection inside of the cold water and one hand with our blubber glove inside the water, and we're gonna see which one keeps my hands warm. Okay, are you ready? So here we go. Putting them in the bucket. And we're gonna count to 10, and we'll fast forward you through this, okay? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We'll do an extra 5 seconds just to make my hands hurt a little bit. Okay. So it's only been about 15 seconds. I had one hand in the blubber glove, one hand not in the blubber glove. Can you see that? So one of my hands, this one right here, is almost completely blue. That's the one that didn't have any protection. And then my hand that was in the blubber glove is still warm. So this is amazing. This is an experiment you can even try at home if you make a blubber glove. I used some Crisco food shortening, which is basically like lard, and I made a glove out of it, and it protected me from that cold the very same way that it does for polar bears. And that's one of the major reasons I love Canada. We have all these amazing animals. All right, so we learned a little bit about polar bears and how they can survive the cold and the snow. So I'm gonna do an experiment that has to do with snow, but I need you to keep an eye on the glass or the cup that I put water into, okay? So I've got my cup here. Keep an eye on this. Might be a trick. And I'm gonna pour it into one of these cups. Are you ready? Okay. So keep an eye on the cup you think the water is in. I'm gonna spin them around. Keep an eye on the screen. Are you ready? So you don't lose the cup with the water. Maybe the water's not in that one. Oh, not in that one. Okay, so most of you at home have a guess in your head of which cup the water went into. Is it this one? Is it this one? Or is it this one? Okay, keep that in your head. So you probably don't think it's in this one. So I'd be willing to pour it on the table. It's not in that one. Okay, cup number 2. Do you think it's in this one? There's only one way to find out. Not in that one either. So the water has to be in this cup, right? There's only one way to find out. What is that? I made snow. So I played a little bit of trick on you. The water wasn't in any cup. It got absorbed by this really cool kind of super absorbent polymer. Now this is called instant snow. So I've got a little bit of this powder here. And each one of these tiny little powders can absorb almost 400 times its size. Okay, so I'm gonna pour a little bit of water in here. And we're gonna watch how it expands and grows and turns into what looks like snow. You can still see it growing. Now this stuff is really, really cool, and you've probably come in contact with it before. So this was invented by NASA, and it was needed because astronauts actually wear diapers. And this is the stuff inside of diapers that absorbs all that waste that we create. So if you have a little brother or sister at home, this might be found inside of their diaper, which is really neat. So this is a super absorbent polymer. It's kind of like a chemical or a little tiny ball that absorbs moisture. Okay, one of my favorite things to do in the summertime, especially on Canada Day, is invite friends over and have a little bit of a party. Usually we go on the trampoline, we go swimming at the lake, we have all kinds of fun. Now, this year's a little bit different, everybody's social distancing, but I have a really good story of one summer when I had a really good Canada Day party. So, usually when I have a Canada Day party, I like to make sure that my guests have something to drink. So my first friend right here asked for a cup of water, so I gave them a cup of water. Now my second friend, they were feeling a little fun. They wanted some fruit punch. So I said, sure thing, of course, I've got fruit punch. Whoa, that's pretty neat. Now my first friend said, hey, I didn't even know fruit punch was an option. Can I have some of that? I said, of course. We just gotta put everything back into my container and we can have some fruit punch. So now, friend number 1 got some fruit punch. Friend number 2 got some fruit punch. Now by the time I got to friend number 3, they were real thirsty. And all they really wanted was water. What just happened? Isn't that a cool experiment? I played a little bit of a trick on you. And I used something called a chemical indicator. So let's zoom out and I'll talk a little bit about it. Now you're probably wondering, what just happened? I actually used chemistry to play a trick on you. So what happened was in my very first cup that I was pouring out of, I had water and a little bit of something else called a chemical indicator. And this chemical indicator is called phenolphthalein. And chemical indicators basically indicate something or tell you when something is present. So my chemical indicator tells us if an acid or a base is present. So let me go on. In my first glass, I didn't have anything inside at all. So I was just pouring my clear solution inside of a clear glass and it was clear. In my second glass, it turned pink like fruit punch. It wasn't actually fruit punch. And that's because I had a little bit of bleach, just a couple of drops in the bottom of this cup so you couldn't even see it. So when I poured my clear indicator into this cup, it reacted with bleach, which is actually a base, which is the opposite of an acid. And when phenolphthalein comes in contact with a base like bleach, it changes colors, which is really neat. So it turned that bright, bright pink. Now, my last cup, it changed back to clear. And that's because in the bottom of this cup, I had a couple of drops of vinegar. And vinegar is actually an acid. So it's the opposite of a base. So when we mix in all of these together, it kind of neutralizes it and it goes back to being an acid. So watch, if I pour everything into this container, it goes back to clear. Isn't that neat? So I used a little bit of chemistry to fool you.
Hi downtown Barrie, my name's Alex.
And I'm Crystal.
And we're with Speaking of Wildlife. This year we're doing Canada Day a little different, so we thought we would give you guys a quick tour of our facility.
Before we head out onto the tour, we wanted to remind you that all of the animals that we care for are Ontario species, and they're animals that can't survive in the wild. So they've all been deemed non-releasable, and this is their sanctuary. This is their home for the rest of their lives. So this first critter that we're going to meet is Rocket, and Rocket is, of course, a raccoon. Raccoons being very intelligent and using their hands for just about everything when it comes to their senses. He will touch and feel with 10 times the nerve endings that we have in our hands. Now this little guy is reaching out to me today because he was actually found orphaned or abandoned as a baby and was hand raised by myself and our staff. So he's very comfortable around people, as you can see. All right, so Alex just brought me some of Rocket's favorite treats. He loves the sweet stuff. Raccoons are omnivores, so they eat a little bit of everything. A little bit of meat, fruits, and veggies, and today he's getting a bit of nectarine. You see how well he can reach and feel. How smart he is to get it through the wire here. Well, it's going to take him a little bit.
Well, I cut him some big pieces.
So next up we have our squirrel enclosure. Right here I have Pipsqueak coming to say hi. And this is a great example of our indoor-outdoor enclosures. So these guys actually have the ability to decide, do they want to go outside and bask in the sun? Do they want to hang out in the nice, cool indoors? Inside their enclosure, we've got a lot of donated yard waste, so we are able to give them the appearance that they are living high up in the trees. So neighbor to our squirrels, we have here Caddyshack, which I'm sure you guys have met before. Caddyshack is our resident groundhog. She's actually the largest member of the squirrel family, but doesn't do nearly as much climbing as her neighbors. Right now, Caddyshack is enjoying a scrumptious treat of dandelion.
All right, so we've got Hawthorne here, and he is a porcupine. One maybe you haven't seen for a couple of years downtown Barrie. This guy's been taking a bit of a break from our education programs, but this is a perfect opportunity to show you that he's alive and well and prickly as ever, with 30,000 quills from the top of his head to the tip of his tail. If you've caught us in downtown Barrie before, maybe you've spotted us with a couple of wolf pups. First we had Maverick 3 years ago and Lou just last summer. If you caught any of them then, you might have seen how small they were or maybe watched them grow. You might be surprised to see how big they are now, so stay tuned for a special sneak peek at the wolves. And next up we have Guillotine, or Gil, the great horned owl. Now Gil has those great horns, or those feather tufts on the top of his head, but surprisingly those aren't actually related to his ears. His ears are hidden under all of his feathers and are actually lopsided or in different places on either side of their head so that they can sort of hear in 3D or surround sound.
Thanks for joining us on our brief tour of our facility, Barrie. We've got lots in store for Canada Day for you, so stay tuned.
Hey guys, it's Crystal here from Speaking of Wildlife, and I am joined by Larry the opossum. Larry is just a year old now and was originally found as a baby in the wild, but something didn't seem quite right about him. He was too young to be on his own, and he wasn't really all there, we'll say. In rehabilitation, they noticed that Larry doesn't have any eyeballs. So it's kind of hard probably to see from this angle. Maybe we'll try to give you a close-up. But Larry here doesn't have any eyes at all. He was born this way and is completely blind, so he'd never survive in the wild. So we've given him a second chance and an opportunity to teach people about these really strange and unique animals. Now, probably some of my favorite things about opossums is that they're North America's only marsupial. So while Larry was weaned and was probably a couple of months old when he was found, he was actually born this big. Wee little, about the size of maybe a grain of rice or a little bigger than that. Now when they're first born, they have one job, and that's to get their little hairless, tiny, underdeveloped bodies up into mom's pouch. And that's where they're going to do the rest of their development. When they're about the size of my thumb, they come out of mom's pouch and climb up onto her back, where they piggyback around to learn how to be an opossum. Some things are easy for them to learn. What does an opossum eat? Just about everything they come into contact with. They're an omnivore, a scavenger, they're opportunistic, they'll even eat roadkill. But what does an opossum do when they become dinner? When something is thinking about eating them? Well, they have a pretty amazing defense mechanism. They flop over onto their back, they hang their tongue out of their mouths, they let go of a stinky liquid in their bum, and that makes them look and smell like they are dead. Or maybe playing possum is a term you've heard before. So when an opossum is acting as if it's dead, the animal, the predator, hopefully thinks that's not very fresh, and maybe I'll move on to something that is a little tastier to eat. Now if that doesn't work, maybe the opossum wakes up too soon, or they don't flop over and sort of faint into that playing dead reaction, they've got to back up. Opossums have more teeth in their mouth than any other land mammal in North America. They have 50 teeth. So you wouldn't want to mess with a smiling opossum shining those teeth in your direction, because they can be pretty dangerous too. Now most opossums that we're going to encounter in our backyards or around where we live, they might smile at you because they see people all the time and they're not quite that scared. But they are pretty harmless if you give them their distance. Usually if you watch the opossum's body language, they're pulling away while showing those teeth so that you give them their space and they can move on, maybe to somebody else's yard or somewhere a little safer. Now I think Larry here has done a really good job. You can see he doesn't really like the vegetables I've given him. He much prefers the sweet treats, and he can sniff them out pretty well with that nose of his. I think he's done an excellent job though, and hopefully you guys have learned a little bit about opossums today. Thank you very much for joining us, and happy Canada Day.
Next up, Canada Day Crafts begins in about 2 minutes. Make sure you gather the needed supplies presented on the screen. Next up, Canada Day Crafts begins in about 2 minutes. Make sure you gather the needed supplies presented on the screen. Next up, Canada Day Crafts begins in about 2 minutes. Make sure you gather the needed supplies presented on the screen.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra Flores. I'm from Ecuador. I am a student of Global Business Management program at Georgian College, and I am currently on my summer break. I am happy to share with you my experience in this beautiful country. I came to Canada in September in 2018 with my family. It has been a wonderful experience ever since. I have participated in some volunteers at Georgian College, receiving new students from many cultures around the world. This experience has been amazing for me. Today, I am working at Honda plant in the logistic area. The work environment seems awesome to me. I would like to invite all of you to be a part of this great family here in Canada and celebrate this beautiful country together. Happy Canada's Day.
Hello everyone, happy Canada Day. Today I'm going to talk to you how to do a paper fan like this. So you make some wind during the hot summer. But look at this one, it's a little bit tricky. Oh, sorry, it's flipped open. So let's glue this back. So I didn't have any string in the middle to hold on this. So if you try to get some wind, it's going to be happen like this. It's a flip over, so you cannot use anymore. So how we could avoid this, I'm going to show you from today's class. Please prepare those materials before we start. Alright, let's get started. First, we need to cut 2 pieces of square paper. And then you get the red one. Cut out 4 pieces. 1-inch paper strips. Use double-sided tape to stick them on both sides of square paper. Do the same thing on another paper. Now let's start to fold it. We do the same thing on other materials, so we get the two pieces the same thing. We're going to use the string to tie them together. Now we use the double-sided tape to tape them together. Make sure the red color strips are aligned. You keep going to the same thing. Now we have last openings. What we're going to do is to tape on each side. Now we put a stick on it. Now we put the last stick on another side. Give some pressure. Now it's all done. Happy Canada Day! Alright, I wish you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Clara Bella the Clown, wishing you a very happy Canada Day. I thought maybe we could celebrate today by making some balloon designs. This is something that you might like to try at home. So let's start with the Canada Day hat. I think my bear has some colors here we can use. Red, because we have red and white on our flag, don't we? And we're going to blow it up. Now when you blow it up, we're going to leave a little bit of space at the very end. Just like that, okay? And we'll tie a knot. If you can't tie a knot, maybe you could get your mom or your dad, or your brother or sister, or someone special in your house that can help you. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it and wrap it around your head to make sure it's the right size. You're going to put the two parts together and twist it. Yeah. Yep, I think it's going to fit. And to top it all off, we can put a flag. Now, if you don't have a flag like this one, you can make your very own flag. There we go. And now we have a Canada Day hat. I got really fancy with this one and added a white balloon to it. What else could be? Oh, I know what. On Canada Day, we have fireworks. You can make your very own fireworks with these balloons. You take another one and blow it up and remember to leave some space at the very end. And we'll keep pumping until, oh, that should be good. And tie a knot. And of course, fireworks are lots of different colors. So, I think maybe we'll reach in here. Wonder what color this is. And we'll blow it up. And close it. This is an easy way to blow the balloons up. And it's fun too. Remember to tie it. And measure it so that it'll be even. And the knob part is the very top. So wrap it around. And let's pick another color. Oh, this is a very small one, but that's okay. Even if it's small, you can add it to your balloon. Because fireworks are all different sizes, aren't they? And do you have fireworks at your house? Some people like to get their own fireworks and have them in their yards. Some people like to watch down by the water. I wonder what color this is. Should we try it and see? Might be a surprise. Oh, another beautiful purple balloon. And we'll keep on blowing it up. And tie it. And the more colors you add, the more beautiful it becomes. And, oh, I bet there's some of you like pink. Should we add a pink one to it? And remember to blow it up. And, uh-oh. Oh, I think we lost that one. Let's see if there's another one in here. Oh, there is. Let's try it. And we'll blow it up. I bet you a lot of you like pink. And we'll wrap it around. And here we go. Sometimes the fireworks are kind of nice and white and bright. Let's add one of these. I think I have another firework here too. So you can do whatever colors you would like to have. And here you go. And you can add as many balloons as you like. And measure it so it's even. And wrap it around and twist it. And there you go. Your very own fireworks that you can put around your house. Now, I had something for you. Lamb, do you know where my joke box is? You don't? Okay. Teddy bear, do you know where my joke box is? No. You look very tired. Are you tired today? I found it right behind Teddy bear. I think he was hiding it on me. So it says Clarabella's joke box. Shall we open it up and see what joke is in here today? Okay. So what? There's a little latch there. And oh my goodness. Bear, was that you? Lamb, was that you? There's a message inside. I think they tried to trick me today. This yoke's on you. Uh-oh. Do you have somebody at your house that likes to play jokes? Do you play jokes? Oh, there's something in here. A little frog. And I think he brought a joke for us today. What do frogs like to drink on a hot summer's day? Coca-Cola. Well, you think that's pretty funny, don't you? I like it too. That was a good joke. Well done. Well, boys and girls, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Canada Day and a wonderful, wonderful summer. And I have a special message for each and every one of you. I want you to remember that you are special. You are unique. You are awesome. You are amazing. So stay safe and be happy and be kind to one another also. And this hug is for you. Happy Canada Day.
Hey, 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 Barry. Whoa. I got a little obstacle course here. Whoa, how's it going? It's, whoa, happy Canada Day. It's Fire Guy here, and I'm going to do a little warm-up. I only had time for one take today, so what we're doing here is I'm doing shows for different places. In Barrie, I've done shows there. And so this take, I mean, I'm performing in front of this camera, is for you. And I had so many great times there. I've talked about it before in my other takes for you. But this one, this is the finale take. Finale take. I'm going to practice, do a little warm-up here first before the finale. A little warm-up. Whoa, oh, yes, and oh, yeah, I feel warmed up. Barry, you know this, Barry. I gotta tell you this. I am the current Guinness World Record holder in fire eating. Yes, 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 I carry this with me wherever I go. I ate the most torches in 60 seconds at the Wisconsin State Fair. Like any good Canadian, I go to the United States to get recognized in my own country. How many torches do you think I ate in 60 seconds? Well, I'll tell you what the old record was. 99. And I ate 101 torches. And for you today, I'm going to eat 1 torch. If you want to watch me eat 101 torches, please scroll back and forward and watch it 101 times. Excellent. So here we go. We're going to do a fire eat. Now, you might notice that there's no music in the show. Usually I have lots of music, but since everything has to be copyright approved songs and stuff, we're going to keep it silent, and hopefully maybe the editor's adding some music right now. Wow, good. Here we go. Fire eating. Let's do this. People often ask me what fire tastes like. I say chicken. That's what I say, Barry. Okay, let's do it. Kids, go to school to get a good degree. I did. Look at me. Yes, Barry. Okay, here it is. We'll be live. That's the next event? I'm gonna be there. I hope it's Winterfest. Santa Claus. I don't know. Here it is. Thank you, Barry. This is legit. This is like the finale, Barry. Because I'm sweating in here. It's a hot day. Let's see. I added some extra juice to this one, but let's see a nice finale for Canada Day for you. Oh, yeah. Yes. Here we go. We got a little bit of a finale. I'm just going to warm up here with some juggling. Excellent. But that itself isn't enough of a finale for me, Barry. Here we go. This is it. This is the real finale. On a tube, on a board, supporting my 300-pound body this Canada Day in Barrie. This one shot, whoa, is for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's get these down. 1 torch is out. 2 torches are out, Barry. All the Okay, the kids like that. Thank you so much, Barry. You're the best. You're the best. Fire Guy, over and out. Happy Canada Day, Barry.
Hi everyone, my name is Ishan Sachdeva and I am from New Delhi, India, and I've been in Canada for 2 years now. So in terms of my experience in the community, I had a lot of part-time jobs. The best one I had till now was in YMCA because, it was all about building communities and, interacting with people. I really love that. In terms of my volunteering experiences, I was a part of the Dragon Boat Berry race. I was a part of, the Rotary Fund Run events. Also, I've been organizing a lot of Indian traditional, festivals and, Bollywood night for students in the city. Also, I did 2 projects with my team in Actors Georgian, and we worked on 2 projects on social isolation in the community, and we actually won a couple of awards and also a national award in the competition when we went in Vancouver. So yeah, I am really liking what I'm doing in the community, and this has been the best experience I ever could have imagined. So happy Canada Day.
Thank you to our community heroes.
Hello, party people. It's Bella Magic, your favorite weirdo. And I'm back to help you guys flatten the curve with some socially responsible circus. But I'm certainly not going to be flattening this curve. No, sir. I do everything in the circus that doesn't involve me being fit or flexible. So, we're going to do a little bit of a card trick workout warm-up. Over here, I have some shameless self-promotion. On one side of my business card, there is a Jack of Diamonds. On the other side, there's a 7 of Spades. Jack of Diamonds, 7 of Spades. Jack of Diamonds, 7 of Spades. We're going to take the 7 of Spades. We're going to put the 7 of Spades behind my back. Which card is in my hand? If you said the Jack of Diamonds, you're wrong. That one is in my hand right there. So we've got the 7 of Spades, the Jack of Diamonds. 7 of Spades, Jack of Diamonds. We're going to take the Jack of Diamonds this time, put it behind my back. Which one is in this hand in front of me? If you said 7 of Spades, you're wrong again. It's right there. It's okay, folks. We're going to try another trick just to make sure that you're paying attention, because I don't want you to miss a thing. All right, over here we have another quick little card trick. I've got my domino card. On one side of the card, there is 1 dot. On the other side of the card, there are 6 dots. So I want you guys at home to take your hands, wiggle your fingers in front of you, wiggle them faster and faster and faster. On the count of 3, shout the magic words. Abracadabra. 1, 2, 3. And now, if by magic the next side will have 3 dots, that will have 4 dots, and we're back to 1. Were you paying attention? No? I'll try one more time. There's 6 dots on this side, 3 dots on that side, 4 dots on that side, and 1 dot on that side. Were you paying attention? I think you guys are warmed up and ready for some magic. Do you guys want to see some magic? I think so. I am so excited to share a very special friend with you folks. This is Larry. He's a scary voodoo doll. You don't think he's very scary, but Larry has a very cool trick to show you guys. Larry, the scary voodoo doll, stands on his own. He stands on his own. Trust me, he does. He can, I promise. You know what? What was that, Larry? Yes, he is talking to me because, yes, I have lost my mind in quarantine. Larry, the scary voodoo doll, can only stand on my hand with the help of you folks at home. So I want you all to stick your hands in front of you, wiggle your fingers around faster and faster, and faster and faster. And on the count of 3, I want you all to start shouting, stand. 1, 2, 3. Stand, 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 stand. Stand, 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 stand. Whoa. What? How did you do that? How did you do that? You guys are doing great. Do you want to try one more magic trick? I can't hear you. You want to do one more magic trick? All right, perfect. We're going to try something that's never been done before. Mind reading through the camera. I have here a tool that will help me read your mind. It's just an ordinary book. If you see here, I'm going to flip through the pages. You can see there's all these different words on this very boring book about Sunday driving. One day I will learn how to read and tell you what it's about. What's going to happen is I'm going to flip through the pages like this. You folks at home are going to shout stop, and I'm going to stop. You're going to read the very top word, the very first word in the corner of the page. You're going to hold it in your mind. Don't say it out loud. Otherwise, I might hear you. I might hear you. Big brother is listening. I'm kidding. All right, we're going to flip through the pages. Just say stop whenever you want me to. Stop. There. That word right there in the top of the page, the very top corner, you need to get your eyes checked at home. Do you guys have it? Oh, the glory of showbiz. I'm going to close the page now and move very slowly for the cameraman. It's okay. Now, I want you guys to hold that word in your head. I'm going to try to read it now. Here I have just a regular old chalkboard with a regular old piece of chalk. I'm going to try to see the shape. I really want you to see the shapes of the word. Spell it out as loud and big as you can. Say it as loud as you can. Spell it as big as you can in your mind. Project that image towards me onto this chalkboard so I can see it on here. I think I have it. Now for everybody at home, on the count of 3, I want you all to shout out what the word was. 1, 2, 3. Was this the right word? What? It's so cool when that works. I mean, it always works. Do you guys want to try one more before I leave? Yeah? Okay, one more quick one. This time, I want you to think of any 4-legged animal in the world, any 4-legged animal at all. Same thing, project it onto the chalkboard. I really want you to see this animal clear as day so that I can take that projection and draw the image perfectly. Any four-legged animal at all. This one's a good one. I got it. Okay, now on the count of 3, I want you all to shout out what your animal was, nice and loud. 1, 2, 3. That's what I got! Thank you guys so much. My name is Bella Magic. You guys have been magical. Please put your very dry hands together for me!
Hey guys, I'm Jen from Cakes by Design here in Barrie. So normally we make the Canada Day cake that all of you enjoy down at Meridian Place, but obviously this year that's not happening. So in conjunction with the City of Barrie and the BIA, we have come up with something a little bit different for all of you this year. We're gonna do a cupcake and cake decorating contest. So today I'm gonna go over a couple cupcakes with you. There's plenty of options. You can buy a kit from us to do this. You can create something at home as well. But if you're doing a cupcake, I'm gonna show you a couple of tips or tricks today that you can do. So I've decorated a few cupcakes already, just colorful and fun little Canada Day flags in them. But a lot of you will have disposable piping bags at home. Even Ziploc bags will work really well. We obviously have the real thing here, but you don't need to use these. So I'm gonna do a couple little swirls on the cupcake for you just to give you some inspiration. So this one's just our chocolate icing, regular coupler, so just like a round tip. This one we like to call the poop swirl because it kind of looks like a poop emoji. But typically you just want to go around in a circle and then layer up and build up like an ice cream cone. We also have some cute little pearls, Canada Day inspired obviously, some red and white that you can decorate. You know, there's plenty of candy in the grocery stores right now, even some of our bulk stores that you can buy and really make these special. I also have this fun multicolored swirl that we did up. Same thing, we're gonna just swirl around in a circle and build it up on top of each other. We'll throw some white pearls on this one. Just kind of like that. You know, truthfully, icing is gonna taste delicious no matter what you do to your cupcake. So even if you end up with just a messy blob on top, it's still gonna taste awesome. So I can't wait to see what you guys are gonna make at home this year, and I hope everyone has a happy Canada Day.
Next up, Canada Day Crafts begins in about 2 minutes. Make sure you gather the needed supplies presented on the screen.
All right, let's get started. Please prepare those materials. Table salt, water, brush, food coloring. We only need red, mask tape, double-sided tape, or name card but blank one, a piece of larger cardboard, a piece of fabric heart. First, we layer the name card on the cardboard. Second, we use mask tape to leave some space on each side of the name card. Now we get some glue on both sides. Brush them evenly. Now sprinkle some salt on every place that has glue on. Dump away the extra salt from the surface. Add some food coloring into the water. Mix the color well. Then get the water into the salt. After you're done, get the mask tape off from both sides. Be careful, very slowly. Now you get your fabric heart. Stick it in the middle. Then you remove the card very slowly from the cardboard. Now, congratulations! Your art is ready. Happy Canada Day! I really wish you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.
Hi everybody, I'm Mayor Jeff Lehman. I am delighted to be reading to you today and to get to read to you something that I feel is really, really Canadian. And that is Up the Creek. I'm going to read to you today about a moose, a bear, and a beaver and their adventures in a canoe. Up the Creek by Nicholas Oldland. There once was a bear, a moose, and a beaver, who were the best of friends, though they often disagreed. One sunny day, the bear, the moose, and the beaver decided to go canoeing. The moose wanted to steer, but so did the bear and the beaver. They all sat in the stern. That's what happens when you all sit in the stern. With so much weight in the back of the canoe, it tipped, and they ended up in the water. So they played eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and it was decided that the moose would steer. They all settled back into the canoe and began to paddle. The bear insisted on paddling port side, but the beaver and the moose also preferred the left. With everyone paddling on the same side, they traveled in circles. Sometimes city council does that too. Soon their arms grew tired, so they began to switch sides. That's when they finally started to travel in a straight line. But just as they began to make progress, they came to a stop at a beaver dam. They all had different ideas as to how to get across. The beaver wanted to push the canoe, but that didn't work. The moose thought they should pull the canoe, but that didn't work. Fortunately, the bear figured it out. The only way across was to portage. There you go. They tried pushing and pulling, but the only way is to carry it. Back in the water, the bear, the moose, and the beaver settled into a rhythm and started to really enjoy paddling along the river. But it wasn't long before they began to argue. They argued so loudly that they didn't notice the current growing stronger or the quiet rumbling in the distance. There they are arguing. Stop splashing, keep paddling. I'm hungry. I've been there too. Until it was too late. The river had turned into wild whitewater rapids. Ah! Thrown sideways, underwater, through the air, and everywhere, the bear, moose, and the beaver held on for their lives. Wow. Exhausted, bruised, and wet, the three friends landed on a rock in the middle of the rapids. The moose wanted to burn the canoe to make a signal fire. The bear wanted to throw the beaver to shore to get help. The beaver figured swimming to shore would be safer. They argued over whose plan was best well into the night. The next morning, it dawned on the bear, the moose, and the beaver that they would have to work together to make it home safely. So they climbed back into their battered canoe, took a deep breath, and ran the rapids. They twisted, leaped, crashed, and blasted through the water. The rapids were fierce, but with the bear's powerful strokes, the moose's steady hoof, and the beaver's clever commands, they set a true, clear course. Look at them making their way down the river there. At last, the bear, the moose, and the beaver made it to shore, even though their canoe wasn't in great shape. After a much-needed nap, the bear, the moose, and the beaver worked together to repair their canoe and paddles, catch some fish, and cook lunch. Before they tucked into their meal, they all gave thanks for the wildest adventure they had ever had. Rested and relaxed, the bear, the moose, and the beaver were ready to set out for home. After taking a long look at the raging rapids, they decided to walk. And who could disagree with that? That's a great story, and it reminds us of the value of working together. You know, City Council is 11 different people, and we make all the decisions about things that are going to happen in our community. And we don't always agree. In fact, we have a lot of different views, not unlike the bear, the moose, and the beaver. But, you know, we find a way. And sometimes it takes a little bit of arguing as to what the best way forward is before we can all paddle together. But ultimately, that's what we need to do. And that's an important lesson I think that we can all take home on this Canada Day, that we build a stronger community and we get more done when we work together, even if we don't always agree. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great Canada Day, and thanks for letting me read as part of the Reading Champions program.
It's been a real scorcher this week while we've been filming, but we've got a bunch of fun enrichment for the animals to help cool them down. Take a look.
Guys, this is Krutar Sudave from India, and if I talk about Canada, it's really a wonderful country that I have seen. It's very beautiful. People here are also very nice. They have a very wonderful nature, and thank you to all of you, and at last, happy Canada Day. Thank you.
Okay, I've showed you how I love to have Canada Day parties and parties in the summer where I entertain my friends and bring them drinks and then I play tricks on them. But I never showed you how I deliver these drinks, and I use a really special tray. Have you ever seen anything like this before? To deliver my drinks. So what I like to do is I'll just take one of these cups we just used in the last experiment. I like to put it right in the middle of my tray, and then as I'm delivering it to my friends, I actually spin it around. Are you ready? We're gonna do this together. And my glass doesn't fall off. Did you see that? So my friends really enjoy this trick. But how does it work? Let's talk about it. For this experiment to work, we're using a special type of physics called centripetal force. It's kind of like when you're on a roller coaster that goes in a big circle and you feel like you're trapped and you can't move your body. It works the exact same way. So when we put our glass on top of our kind of holder here, and we spin it in a big circle, we're creating centripetal force, and the cup is always being attracted to the middle where I'm holding the end of the rope. Now, you might say, hey, Caitlin, how come gravity isn't pulling our water down when it's upside down? Well, it's because it's in continuous motion in a circle. So the cup is going towards the center because of gravity, and it's moving in a circle, so all of those forces of physics work together, and I can flip my cup around, which is a really, really cool experiment. Our next experiment has to do with gases, and there can be a lot of gases at Canada Day parties, but not that kind of gas. Today we're going to be talking about gases in general. So when you think of a gas is actually something that takes up space. So when you're breathing out air, which is a gas, it's taking up space in the room, even though you can't see it. So if I tried to squish my hands together, that weird noise you get is the gas escaping. So gas takes up space. So let's do a little experiment to prove that. Now, first and foremost, we're going to make an experiment that releases gas. So you've probably done this at home. You put some baking soda and vinegar together in a container, and you make a bubbly mess. Now this makes a bubbly mess because it's creating gas. So you can see all those bubbles. That is carbon dioxide, a gas being created. Now I'm going to show you a different way that I can make carbon dioxide, and it's using something called an Alka-Seltzer or an antacid. Now when you mix an antacid, which is sometimes your parents have these if their tummy hurts, if you mix this with water, it also creates a gas. So watch this. Can you see all those bubbles being created? Now, right now, the gases that I've produced are leaving these containers, but I want to prove to you that they take up space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tiny little container here. I'm going to add an Alka-Seltzer inside. I'm going to add water, and then I'm going to seal the top with a balloon, and we're going to watch to see what happens. So here we go. Add a little bit of water. Okay. Add my balloon. Now let's watch. Turn it around so you can see. Can you see that? My balloon is inflating. So I'm going to put my goggles on in case this pops. But you can see that the gas being produced is all being held inside of this balloon, which is amazing. And you could try this experiment at home. You just can use a water bottle and then put a balloon on top after. So now that we know gases take up space, I've got a really fun experiment for us. I've got our experiment set up. So you'll notice I've got all these little containers, the same kind that we used for our balloon experiment. Look how big that is. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to add water and our Alka-Seltzer, but we're going to seal the top. So we know that our kind of Alka-Seltzer and water makes this much gas, but if that gas can't escape, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to go pow and explode. But I have a question for you, and you're going to make a hypothesis. Do you think the container that has more Alka-Seltzer, so a full piece like this, will go faster or explode quicker than that one that has less Alka-Seltzer? Well, there's only one way to find out. I want you to think of your answer right now, and we're gonna try this experiment. So I'm gonna add the same amount of water to each of these. I'm gonna close the lid so you can see I've got a full piece, a little bit less than a full, almost a half, a quarter, and a tiny little chunk at the end there. We're gonna seal these up and see what happens. So I'm gonna put my safety goggles on. Let's start it up. I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Perfect, perfect. Make sure they're even. Okay, now I'm gonna add the lids. So how to do this, I'm just gonna close it and push down, but they're not gonna react yet because they're stuck to the top. So I gotta be careful that they don't touch the water or they'll start to make gases without me wanting them to. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna shake them and spin them. Oh, we lost our seal on that one. That's okay. We're gonna watch the other one. So this one's out of play. Let's watch the other ones. Which one do you think is gonna go off first? I think it's gonna be this side. Okay, so it happened to be this one. Interesting. Let's watch what happens next. Oh, I can see these ones don't have a very good seal.
Seal.
Oh, did you see how powerful that was? This one had so much more Alka-Seltzer and it created a bigger explosion. Okay, next. I don't know what's gonna be next. I'm a little nervous. This one. I'm gonna make holes in the roof. Okay, that's okay. Science is a little messy sometimes. Who's next? And anything coming from our last guy with our least amount of water? I'm a little nervous. Let's wait. Let's see how long it takes. Well, I think I give up. I don't think this one's gonna go off. I can see that the gases are being created, but I don't think it's enough to be able to pop the lid. So what happened here? Well, we had our second one go off first, and that's probably because it had a really good seal. But for the most part, our Alka-Seltzer and tablets on this side of the tray went off first, and that's because they had more substrate in the reaction, and they were way more powerful. So this first one that went off kind of was a slow dud, and then these ones were insane, crazy fast, and probably made a hole in the roof, which is really neat. So from this experiment, we learned more substrate or more stuff that we put in a reaction, the faster it goes, and in this case, the more powerful.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Happy Canada Day. My name is Chrissy, and I am the Executive Director of Simcoe Contemporary Dancers, a professional dance ensemble right here in Barrie, Ontario. I'm so excited to dance with you today. Are you excited to get dancing? Yeah? Oh, I'm so excited. So today we're gonna learn a really fun dance that is all about Canada and also our hometown of Barrie. So if you're not from Barrie, this is a great opportunity to learn some of the fun things that we have here to offer. So are you ready to get dancing? Yeah? All right, let's get started. So find a nice open space, whether you're in your backyard, in your bedroom, wherever you are. Let's find a nice open space, and we're gonna start with our wide stance. So our feet are apart and our hands are reaching down, palms facing out. And because it's Canada Day, we are going to start with sparkler fingers. So really move those fingers as if your hands have turned into sparklers. We're going to do our sparkler hands for 16 counts. So let's count that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How did you do? I bet you did awesome. All right, let's keep going. So we have our sparkler fingers for 2 counts of 8 or 16 counts. And then from there, we're gonna move our arms up for 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Really move those sparkler arms. And then we bring them back down for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we do that one more time? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should we try that much with music? Okay, let's give it a try. Really, really sparkly fingers, really to celebrate Canada Day, moving those fingers nice and wide and super fast. We start as soon as the music begins. Ready? Here we go. Sparkler fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're up. 2, 3, 4, down. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, down. 2, 3, 4. Good job. How did you do? I'm sure you did amazing. So, one thing that maybe is a little confusing is that first 8 counts starts right away, right on that music. So as soon as you hear the music, you know you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you'll hear the music get a little bit bigger. The singer sings, hey, and that's when we start moving our arms. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and big, 3, 4. Good, can we try that one more time with music? All right, let's give it a try. Here we go, as soon as the music starts, that's our first 8 count. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. We're up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Amazing. Let's keep going. So after you brought your arms down on that 5, 6, 7, 8, we're gonna bring our hands to our hips and we're gonna do big bounces for 16. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bounce. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can we try that all together? We're bouncing like a nice big bouncing ball. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any questions? No? Okay, let's try that much with music. So we have 16 counts of sparkler fingers. We have 16 counts of bringing our arms up and down, and then 16 bounces. Here we go. Remember to start those sparkler, big sparkler fingers as soon as the music begins. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's move those arms. Up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4. We bounce. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any questions? Okay, let's keep going. So just remember those big sparkler arms and big bounces, as big and as fast as you can, okay? Also, if there's anything that I'm doing that is a little bit too complicated, or maybe you just want to do something else, that is totally fine. As long as you're having fun and as long as you're dancing, that's all we need to do, okay? Let's keep going. So we just finished our 16 bounces, and then we're gonna take skates forward. So we're skating as if you can imagine you're at the hockey rink, or maybe you're skating on a frozen pond, again, celebrating all things that remind us of Canada today on Canada Day. So we're gonna take 4 skates forward. You can do your arms however you want. So if you wanna pretend you have a hockey stick, if you want to swim your arms, dancer's choice. So we've just done our 16 bounces, and we're gonna take skate, 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 skate. So that is 2 counts each. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're gonna skate backwards. So you wanna send your hips out as if you're skating backwards on the rink. And the timing of the skate backwards is exactly the same. So 2 counts each. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll do it again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any questions? Okay, let's give it a try. All together with music. Big sparkler fingers to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're up. 2, 3, 4, down 2. Up, 2, 3, 4, down 2, 3, 4. We bounce. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's skate next. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job, everybody. Are we ready for the next part? All right, so the next part is all about the water, like at Kempenfelt Bay here at the lake, the waterfront in Barrie. So after we've skated back, we're really gonna think about water. So we're gonna kind of jump out in a nice little lunge, bending those knees, and we're gonna use our arm as if it's a wave. So we have nice and slow, wave, wave, and then we're gonna have 3 quick. We do wave, 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 hop together and clap. Can we do the same thing to the other side? So we have hop out, slow wave, quick, 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 clap, and we do it twice more. Wave, 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 clap. And last time, wave, 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 clap. Amazing. So we start with sparklers, we go up and down with our sparklers, we bounce, we skate forward as if we're on a frozen pond or playing hockey, whatever you'd like to imagine. And then we skate backwards, and we do that 2 times through. From there, we jump out and have 4 waves. So we do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, clap. And then we'll do that 3 more times for a total of 4. 1, 2, da, 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 clap. And then twice more. Can we try that much with music? Okay, here we go. You guys are doing amazing. I'm so excited to be dancing with you today. Here we go. Last 8. We're gonna bring those arms up for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2. Let's bounce. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's skate, 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 skate backwards. Good. Again. Skate, skate, skate. We're gonna think of water, like at Kempenfelt Bay. We have slow, slow, quick, quick, clap. Slow, slow, quick, 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 clap. Slow, slow. 1, 2, 3, clap. Slow, slow. 1, 2, 3, clap. Good job, everybody. Did you have a nice waving arm? I'm sure you did. Amazing. Let's just take a moment to have a quick water break, and we'll learn the second half of the dance, okay? So take a second, get a drink of water. We want to make sure that we're really staying hydrated. You know it's hot out there. All right. Okay, so from here, after we've done our our 4th water rather, we're gonna come up and reach nice sunshine arms, just like the beautiful sun that's out today. And then we have bounces. So we're going to do our sunshine 4 times. So we've just done wave, 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 clap. We're gonna come 1, 2, 3, 4, hands to the knee, and we bounce, bounce. We do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, bounce, bounce. Okay, let's think back of all the things we've learned today. So we were celebrating Canada Day with our nice sparkler fingers. We bring them up and down, 2 times through. From there, we come into bounces for 16. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna skate forward. We have skate, 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 and we skate backwards. Back, 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 back. You do it again. Skate, 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 skate. We're back, 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 back. We do our water 4 times through. So we have slow, slow, quick, 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 clap, slow, slow, quick, 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 clap, again, again, ba, 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 clap, slow, slow, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's the new parts. We're gonna bring sunshine arms, reaching high, 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 bounce, bounce, sunshine arms, bounce, bounce, sunshine arms, bounce, bounce, sunshine arms, bounce, bounce. Great job, everyone. And remember, if there's anything that is a little bit too tough or something you just want to do something different, please feel free to do that. As long as you're dancing and having fun, I'm so happy. Okay? Can we try that much with music? Let's give it a go. All right. Sparkler fingers nice and big. Let's celebrate Canada Day. Good. Wave your sparklers. And down, 2, 3, 4. Wave your sparklers. Good. Let's bounce. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play hockey. We skate, 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 skate. We're back. Skate backwards. Good. You skate, 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 skate. We're backwards. Good. Let's celebrate the water. 3, 2, 1, clap. Slow, slow. 3, 2, 1, clap. Slow, slow. 3, 2, 1, clap. Slow. New part. Sunshine. Reach. Bounce, bounce. Reach. Bounce, bounce. Reach. Bounce, bounce. Reach. Bounce, bounce. Great job, everybody. All right, amazing. We're almost done with our dance for today. So you hear that music get nice and big again. The singer says, hey, again. We're gonna bring those arms up like fireworks. So we just finished bounce, bounce, and we're gonna take 8 fireworks arms. So they're firework, firework. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Let's just add on a little bit more before we try it again with music, okay? Amazing work. So we've just done our big firework arms, and then we're gonna walk around ourselves in a circle, and you can imagine whatever you want, your most favorite place in Canada, wherever that might be, whether you're thinking about being in a beautiful forest, maybe you love camping with your family, if you're thinking about just walking through a park, or even down a street. So what we wanna do is walk around in a circle and really imagine and kind of point out the things that we're seeing. Maybe we see a beautiful squirrel on the ground. Maybe we see a beautiful bird in the sky. So let's walk around and think about and point out our most favorite things. So we've just done 8 fireworks, and you're gonna walk around any direction you want, just kind of noticing and imagining the space around you. And we're going to do the walk around. Let me just make sure I know exactly for how long. We're going to do that for 16 counts again. So you have plenty of time to really imagine 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Let's try that much with music. We're almost done. Remember your sparkler hands. Big sparklers, let's really, really celebrate the day. Amazing work up and down. Good. Let's bounce. Let's skate. Skate, 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 skate. Work back. Skate, 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 skate. Let's water. Wave, wave. 3, 2, 1, clap. Wave, wave. 3, 2, 1, clap. Wave, wave. 3, 2, 1, clap. 3, 2, 1, clap. Sunshine arms. Bounce. Bounce 3 more. Bounce. Bounce. Good. Fireworks are next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 8 more. Good. Walk around. Notice your favorite place. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job. All right, so for those fireworks, can we actually do 16? I think that that's better. It's more celebratory for Canada Day, so let's go ahead and do that, okay? So after we've come through the forest, we're gonna celebrate our friends and our community, okay? So from here, we're going to, after we've snuck around the forest or looked around the park, whatever it is, we're back facing front and we're gonna look to the side and pretend we have our friend next to us. Or maybe you're with your family and you can put your arm around somebody. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna sway 6, 7, 8, and we'll do 8 more counts of that. 6, 7, 8. So we're swaying with our friends. Let's learn the last little bit and we'll give it a try with music, okay? So we sway, sway, sway. Then from here, we're gonna walk forward and we're gonna get big, 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 like we're a moose in the forest, okay? So we have little sneaky feet. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, big, big moose arms. And then we're gonna step backwards for 4 and become a little squirrel. Squirrel, 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 squirrel. Again, forward. Moose, 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 squirrel, 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 squirrel. And in the very ending of the dance, we're gonna jump out, big arms, and pretend to be the spirit catcher that's down at the Barrie waterfront. If you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful piece of art. Please come down to the waterfront and check it out. So we end with our big spirit catcher arms. Can we try it all together? You guys are doing so great. Here we go. Whole thing. Sparkler fingers. Good job. We're gonna bring them up and down for 4. Good. Yes. 8 more. Good. Let's skate. And back. Good. Good, back. Let's find the water like it kept in Felt Bay. Two more. Good. Sunshine is next. Sunshine. Bounce, bounce, sunshine. Bounce, bounce, sunshine. Bounce. Last one. Fireworks are next for 16. 2, 3, 4. Let's walk around the forest. Can you see? Or maybe you're in the park, whatever you want to see. 5, 6. Let's find our friends. Reach, reach, sway, sway, sway. Good. We love our friends. We love our community. One more 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Be a moose. Good. And back. 2, 3, 4. Good. Be a moose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be a moose. Big jump. Spirit catcher. Beautiful work, everybody. Oh my gosh. You guys have done amazing work today. I'm so happy that you danced with me. I loved seeing your imagination, pretending to be a moose, pretending to be a squirrel, and being a spirit catcher at the very end of our dance. Again, my name is Chrissy from Simcoe Contemporary Dancers. I hope you loved this video. You can play it back if you need more time to learn everything. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Happy Canada Day, everyone. We hope you're well.
Hey folks, we're outside now, and behind me, I've got a Canadian maple leaf that I'm gonna set on fire and try to jump through on a skateboard. I say try because I have attempted this before and have fallen. Wearing protective equipment, I'll be safe, but I gotta ignite this thing, and I'm trying to think, how can I ignite this maple leaf in a Canadian way? Well, you know that Elon Musk spent time in Canada, and Elon Musk owns a company that made this flamethrower. So I thought, why not? How about I light this maple leaf the Elon Musk way? And on a serious note, I just want to say, thank you, Elon, for sending people to Mars, because if humans keep doing stuff like this, we will go extinct. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, at home, Fire Guys attempt to go through this. We'll see if we can make it happen. Oh yeah. You know, I'll tell you what, I'm here and you're there, and that's the way it should be, because we're staying at home and I'm trying to entertain you at home with something foolish like this. Let's do it. Come on. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, happy Canada Day! I'm the Fire Guy. I'm done. I'm well done. I made it. I made it. And we're going to all make it if we stick together, stay at home. Thanks a lot for watching this virtual Canada Day. Hope you have a great time, Canada. We'll see you out there when we can.
Here we are at the wolf enclosure at Speaking of Wildlife, and we wanted to introduce you to our wolf pack. We've got 2 wolves in the enclosure behind me. Some of them maybe you've met at some of our previous events. The larger of the 2 is Maverick, and Maverick is a 3-year-old wolf that came to us because after being born in captivity, his pack was experiencing a disturbance, and the pups' lives were unfortunately at risk. So the facility that they were born at decided to make the tough call to remove some of the pups and transfer them to other facilities to ensure their safety. Mav was raised by myself and by our staff, so obviously he's very comfortable around people. But he's a full-grown wolf with 1,400 pounds per square inch of pressure in his jaw, so of course we don't interact with him. He's certainly not a dog. We don't go into the enclosure and play with him. Enter Lou, who came to us last year to be Maverick's companion. She is built like a wolf because she is one, so she can interact with him and join him in this enclosure, and they can spend the rest of their lives together here at Speaking of Wildlife. Now, this enclosure that we've built for them was specially designed for them and for wolves. It's over an acre of forested landscape. So they've got trees and rocks and dirt and mud and all of those things, some low-lying areas as well as some higher ones, and lots of sunshine gets through these trees as well, so that they've got a variety of environments and areas to explore. They've even started to dig a couple of dens of their own, as well as being provided a den by us. Now these guys are part of our pack. The 2 of them actually see the people that raised them sort of as part of the pack as well. So we're kind of like their parents in this situation. But the two of them interact very much like a pack would. Mav's giving an excellent example of this right now. He's howling behind us. That, of course, is a wolf's way of communicating. Maverick heard an animal in the distance making a similar noise and howled to them. He does the same when we howl to him. We're not exactly sure what he's saying, but wolves will use this communication in the wild to alert others to danger or an intruder maybe in their territory, as well as to call the pack to an area where they've found something that they can hunt and eat. Now, when it comes to hunting and eating, these guys will eat only meat, no fruits or vegetables at all. So they're eating usually other animals. Small animals are kind of an easy meal for them, but they will also hunt things like deer and moose pretty commonly. Here at the center, we try to mimic this as best as we can. Sometimes we will get deer or moose to feed them. We've also got beaver, rabbit, chicken, beef, pork, you name it. These guys get pretty much everything. They'll get the bones, they'll get the skin, the feathers, the fur. They love it all, and it's very good for them to mimic as close as a wild diet as we possibly can. All right, so it looks like all of this wolf information may have actually put the wolves to sleep. They've heard it all, they know this stuff. So we're gonna wrap it up here as well. Thank you very much for joining us, and happy Canada Day. Curious what animal was calling to make Maverick howl in our wolf talk? Well, the answer is these three lovely beasts. We've got Urko, Curly, and Cal, and they live in the field and forest that surround our wildlife center and can often be found chatting with Maverick and Lou.
All right, folks, you want a bonus trick? Here's a bonus trick. This is something I don't want to do, but I'm gonna do it. It's an old feat of strength from the 1920s. They used to blow up hot water bottles until they explode. Doesn't always work. It's got like a 70% chance of working, but if it works, it's gonna be a great bonus trick for you. If it doesn't work, it's another reminder you gotta try things that seem impossible. It's what I believe in, folks. I hope you like this. If you got headphones on at home, turn the volume down. Come on. It's very important. Here we go. took way too long. Thank you very much, folks. My name is Mighty Mike. Hope you enjoyed that bonus trick. I'm going to go lie down now.
Happy birthday, Canada. Today we celebrate the birth of our great nation. Celebrations will be a little different this year, but we can still get together responsibly and safely and celebrate Canada. Today is a day where we can reflect on all the great attributes Canada has, and also a day where we, as a nation, can commit to doing even better in the future. Have fun, stay safe, and enjoy your day. And happy Canada Day, everyone.
Everybody's on the same page. No new chapters will never change. Everybody wants to be cool, yes they do, and I'm just like them. But I won't be no fool. I guess I could waste all my time and my money just trying to look right. But it doesn't change who I am in my heart if I look like a dime. So I want you to close your eyes, sing to the world tonight, and show them what's beautiful. I don't care what they think, no I'm not listening, 'cause I know I'm beautiful. So close your eyes. Everybody's born to be different. That's the one thing that makes us the same. So don't you let them words try to change you. Don't let them make you into something you ain't. So I want you to close your eyes, sing to the world tonight, and show them what's beautiful. Ooh, I don't care what they think, no I'm not listening, 'cause I know I'm beautiful. Show the world that you inside. Raise your voice and close your eyes, 'cause you are beautiful. Show the world that you inside. Raise your voice and close your eyes, 'cause you are beautiful. So I want you to close your eyes, sing to the world tonight, and show them what's beautiful. I don't care what they think, no I'm not listening, 'cause I know I'm beautiful. So close your eyes. Yeah, I'm a turner. I turn pages all the time. Don't like where I'm at. 34's bed, so I just turned 35. Yeah, I'm a keeper. And I keep digging down for the deep. Like the records I'm playing, they might keep you waiting, but you know I'm only playing for keeps. And if the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. And if love keeps giving me lemons, I just mix them in my drink. And if the whole wide world stops singing and all the stars go dark, I'll keep the light on in my soul, keep the bluebird in my heart. Ooh. confused and start to lose. I'll run the dime till it all makes sense. And if the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. If love keeps giving me lemons, I just mix them in my drink. And if the whole wide world stops singing, and all the stars go dark, I'll keep the light on in my soul. Keep the bluebird in my heart. I'll keep the light on in my soul. Keep the bluebird in my heart. Ooh.
Hello everybody, I'm Neda, international student, graphic design student at Georgian College, and I hope the best for you. Happy Canada Day, and here is my lovely son Ryan. There you go.
Hello everybody, my name is Ryan Fatih, and we live in Iran, and I'm a student, and I go to Warnica Public School, and I'm grade 1, and I hope you have a great day when it's Canada Day. I wish the best to you, and happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day,
everyone.
When it comes to us Canadians, we definitely like to be loud and make noise, especially at hockey games and sporting events and on Canada Day when we're celebrating watching the fireworks. So I have an experiment to show you how to be even louder, which I'm sure your parents will love. And this is something you can do at home too. So all you'll need is a can or a cup, and it could be any size, and all you have to do is cut a hole in the bottom and attach a string like I have here. So I just tied a knot in the string, put it through. You might need a parent's help to cut a hole in the bottom. And then you actually have a noise maker. So let's show you how this works. All you need to do is wet your fingers and pull down. You have to squeeze really tight, and you get a funny noise. It almost sounds like a fart, which is funny. Now, depending on the size of your can, you're gonna get a different sound. So let's try the second one. That one's really loud, which is great. And then finally, this one is pretty big. This is a coffee tin, and I have a different string too, so you can test out different things. That one's really loud and tinny. Now, why does this work? Well, it has to do with sound. So sound is actually a vibration. So right now when I'm talking, my vocal cords are vibrating the air coming out of my mouth, and it's going through the air, and when it hits someone's ear, it's vibrating the inner kind of bones and cochlea inside of your ear. That way we can hear it. So what would happen if I touch this without wetting my hands? Let's try the bottom here because the top's wet. You don't get any sound, and that's because you're not causing a vibration. When you get your hands wet, you're causing friction like that, and it's kind of tugging and creating vibrations that travel and are pretty loud depending on the size. Now the can acts like an amplifier. So if you've ever seen a speaker, or when you're trying to talk really loud, you talk like this, it amplifies that sound to make it really loud. So you can make one of these, head outside, and make lots and lots of noise for Canada Day. Something me and my family always do in the summertime, especially on Canada Day, is head out to the beach for a nice sunny day by the water. Now, one of our favorite activities, especially on Canada Day, is to bring a beach ball and play around with it. Now, something I've always said is I can make a beach ball levitate, and no one ever believes me. But I can actually show you that right now because I have the technology that I need. So I'm gonna use this big beast. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the beach ball levitate by placing it on top and turning my leaf blower on. So let's watch what that looks like. Did you see that? I can make the beach ball go right on top of my head. You might be wondering, okay, yes, of course the leaf blower can hold my beach ball up because it's using the force of air upwards, but what's pulling our ball down? Gravity. Now you'd think when the ball starts to angle over my head that it would fall down, but there's another force in play here, and it's called Bernoulli's principle. So in reality, when the ball is on top of the leaf blower, there's air that's blowing all the way from all angles around the ball. And some of them are in high pressure, some of them are in low pressure. So those differences in pressure kind of hold the ball in place so that there's air coming from both sides, hugging it in nice and tight. So when you push it over on an angle, it's still holding it in. Isn't that magical? That's the power of air. Now, you can try this at home if you've got a leaf blower and a ball, or you can try it scaled down if you've got a hair dryer and a ping pong ball or a styrofoam ball. You just put your ping pong ball on the end of the hair dryer, turn it on, and you'll be able to see that it kind of hovers in place, and you can turn it side to side without it falling out, which is really neat. Now, it's time for one more experiment with my favorite leaf blower. So let's move on. For this next leaf blower experiment, we've got to go back to Newton's laws, and one of those says, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So basically, when you push on something, it pushes back. Now that doesn't give you kind of an okay for when you push someone that they can push you back, but anything that we touch kind of pushes back. So for example, if I touch this globe here, it actually is pushing back on me. And I can show you that using this leaf blower. So when I push on the leaf blower, the air is pushing one way, and it's actually forcing the leaf blower the other way. I'm actually just holding it in place. So what I'm going to do is stand on this spinner here and turn my leaf blower on, and we're going to see what happens. So I'll take my mic off. Ready? That was close. Okay, so why did that happen? Well, the leaf blower air was pushing one way when I was holding it out, forcing me to go the other way. And this is Newton's law in action. Now this is something you can do at home too with a lot of protective equipment on. If you have a skateboard and a leaf blower, I think you'd be able to get around by sticking it on the back and turning it on, because the air would be pushing one way, which would cause you to go the other way. Isn't that fun? One of my absolute favorite things to do in the summer, especially on Canada Day, is to sit outside at nighttime and watch fireworks because of all the different colors that they create. But it got me wondering, how do they get all those colors? You've got blues, reds, greens, a mix of all of these, and they all go off at once. Well, I've got an experiment here to explain it, and it has to do with the exact same reason you can change the color of your fire with those little packets that you get at the store. Okay, so after a little bit of digging, I figured out that the reason fireworks can change color is the same way that those little fire packs you get at the store can change the color of your fire. So I'm going to use a bunch of different kind of substances here to try to change the color of fire. Now, if I want to start a fire, the very first thing I need is fuel. And my fuel here today is called methanol, and I've chosen this because it burns clear. Now, usually when you light something like a match or a lighter, it has a bright yellow flame, but I don't want my flame to have color. I want it to be clear. So this will be our control in our first container to show us what just our fuel looks like with nothing else in it. Next, I have stump remover, potassium iodide, borax, calcium chloride, and table salt. And I'm going to mix each of these with a little bit of fuel or methanol, and then I'm going to light it on fire and see if we can get different colors from each of these. So let's fast forward. I'm going to add my methanol to each of these, and then we'll set them on fire. Okay, we're ready. So I'm going to shut the lights off, and then we're going to light these up. Are you ready? Put my protective equipment on. I've got my fire extinguisher ready, just in case. Remember, don't try this at home. Okay, let's give these a second. Can you see that? We've got blue, purple, green, and more of an orangey color at the end. This is amazing. Let's zoom you in and show you what it looks like a little bit closer. So the blue in our stump remover is from the copper that's present, and that burns blue. We've got potassium in our second solution, and that burns purple. We have a little bit of barium in our third one, and that burns green. And then our last two have calcium and sodium, and those burn orange. Changing the color of our fire was really, really fun. So fun, in fact, I've got another fire experiment for us. This time we're gonna make a fire tornado. So you'll notice I have this really cool looking thing in front of me, which is basically a garbage can on a Lazy Susan. And I'm going to make a fire tornado by kind of saturating this sponge with fuel, which in this case is lighter fluid. And I'm using this because it burns bright yellow, and I wanna be able to see our flame. So when I stick it back in here and light it up and start to turn it, it's gonna get oxygen from all angles because of the spin, and the fire is gonna go upwards like a tornado. And fire tornadoes actually happen in real life when you have a forest fire and there's big gusts of wind that kind of oxygenate the bottom of the fire and send it upwards. You get them that go almost 3 stories high, which is amazing. So let's get this started. Okay, to make a fire tornado, what we need to do is take this sponge that I have at the bottom of my basically garbage can on a Lazy Susan, and I'm gonna soak it with lighter fluid. And lighter fluid, like I said, burns bright orange, so we'll be able to see it. And I'm gonna put this back on the bottom. I'm gonna light it on fire and spin it, and we're gonna get a fire tornado. And fire tornadoes actually happen in real life when you have forest fires and big gusts of wind that kind of oxygenate the bottom, and it sends it upwards. So let's shut our lights off, put our safety equipment on, make sure we've got our fire extinguisher ready, and see what happens. Okay, we've got a good flame now. We've just got to turn it. Can you see that? This is incredible. So this is a fire tornado. We're getting oxygen going from all angles because we're spinning it, and it gets sent upwards to the sky. Now we know how a fire tornado works. We're going to do one more experiment, this time with our thermal camera right in front of our fire tornado. So you can see my hands are nice and warm. You're gonna be able to see the heat coming off of this fire tornado, and I'll even move our thermal camera upwards, and you'll be able to see just how high that heat goes. So I've got my protective equipment ready. Don't try this at home, and let's light it up. Okay, so first off, you can see the heat right off the bat. Let's give it a spin. Beautiful. Now if I push this upwards, you should be able to see just how high that heat goes. Look at that. Hot, hot heat. Now, this should be a reminder to everyone to make sure you're safe around fire, especially campfires in the summer. So if you're having a campfire, be sure that someone's around that knows what they're doing, and make sure you're with an adult. Okay, I've got one more fire experiment for us because everyone loves fire experiments. This time I'm going to use a different fuel, and this is called butane, and it's actually a gas. And a gas is something we talked about earlier. It's floating around us. It's in particles. And I want to be able to hold on to this gas so I can set my hand on fire, which sounds scary. And again, I'm trained to do this. So how exactly can I hold on to a gas? You can't really grab it. You can't hold on to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use bubbles. So we're going to trap our gas in bubbles. I'm going to hold on to it and then set it on fire. So for this experiment, what I have is a bowl of cold water. And what I'm going to do is pour some of my soap in the bottom, like this. And then all I have to do is take my butane, flip it upside down, and push it on the bottom of this bowl, and it's going to create bubbles. So listen. Can you hear that? So now we've got all kinds of bubbles on the bottom of our container, and I'll show you in a second. But first, I like my arm hair, so I'm gonna put on my gloves, and I'm gonna put on my shield, and I'm gonna shut off the lights so we can see a little bit better. So let that clear up. Okay, so I'm going to light my match, hold on to the bubbles, and set it up. Did you see that? So all of that butane that was trapped inside of those bubbles lit up really quick, and as soon as it got ignited, it disappeared. So let's try that one more time. We're gonna put a little bit more butane in the bottom of our container. I'm gonna get a new match. I'm going to put my safety equipment on, my headgear down, light my match. Oh, I broke my match. Let's try another one. There we go. Grab my butane bubbles and light it up.
Light it up.
And just like that, I can catch my hand on fire in a safe manner. Again, don't try this one at home. I'm a trained professional, but that's one of my favorite fire experiments of all time. And that's all for our science show here today. I hope you learned a little bit of science that has to do with Canada Day, including why fire and fireworks change colors. Shout out to the Government of Canada for sponsoring this event, and happy Canada Day, Barry. See you next time.
Hey, Canada, how's it going? People always ask me, they say, hey, how'd you become fire guy? That's the number 2 question I always get. The number 1 question, of course, is, have I ever been burned? And the answer is, of course I have. All you have to do is search on YouTube, and there's a video of me burning my face in New Zealand 15 years ago. True story. But the number 2 question, how did I become fire guy? Now, folks, this is the only job I have. This is how I support my wife, my 16-year-old daughter, and I own a Honda Civic. Well, it's a very reliable car. But how do I really become fire guy? Well, it all started in a circus class in Montreal, Quebec, Montreal. And I had a teacher, a professor, who said one thing to me that changed my life forever. Can I share it with you? In fact, Canada, what I would like to do is I would like to share it with you in bilingual. Would I be able to do that? Are you open-minded? All right, well, let's do it. She said, deviens bon. I said, deviens bon? She said, yeah, get good. I said, well, get good? She said, yeah, mais un chose. One thing. I said, un chose? She said, oui. I said, pourquoi? Why? She said, car si t'es bon à un chose, tu peux être beau à autre chose. If you get good at one thing, then you can get good at another thing. Et tu deviens bon à beaucoup de choses. Et après ça, hey, who knows? If you get good at a bunch of things, eventually, you know, you'll be valuable. So I said, okay, I'll pick something, and it's right here. Now, it happened almost by accident. A friend came over one summer's day and left these. These are called flower sticks, and they left them at my house, and I just started playing with them, and it just so happened at the same time she gave me that advice. I said, okay, I'm going to pick something. I'm going to pick these, and I got really, really good at them, and I even researched the flower sticks and found out that there was history to it, and that it's quite an old prop, and it comes from China. And the traditional stick isn't called a flower stick, it's called a devil stick, or bâton diable. And it looks like this. And I kind of worked on my bâton diable. J'ai joué avec mon bâton. Et après ça, after that, I decided, c'est le temps pour feu. It was the time for fire. Now, I wasn't fire guy then. I was just Guy, or Guy, dans les rues de Montréal, in the streets of Montreal, Prince Arthur. And I would take my devil stick, j'ai pris mon bâton diable, j'allais dans la rue, I went down to the road, et j'allumais le bâton. I lit up the stick. Now, a lot of people don't know about this in Canada, but Fire Guy was arrested. It's true. I was arrested for this. Why would you be arrested for that? Possession of a firearm. Oh! Or possession. It doesn't work in French. It just doesn't work in French. Alors, je vais montrer des tours. I'm going to show you some tricks with the flaming devil stick. All right. First trick is called the devil's eye. L'œil du diable. And si t'aimes cette tour-là, if you like this trick, you will like the next one. Va aimer l'autre. L'autre l'œil. The other eye. And les yeux croisés. Cross-eye. Whoa. All right, that's as funny as I get. So I'm going to show you tricks where I burn myself. Alors, je vais vous montrer des tours. Je suis brûlé. Burn the chin. Brûler le menton. Whoa. Oh, let's get it nice and framed. Oh, yeah. Brûler le dos. Burn the back. Woo. Woo. Brûler le fesse. Burn the butt. Or as I call it, a hot piece of ash. That doesn't work in French. Okay. And burn the armpit. Or brûler l'armpit. I don't know that one. Maybe you could tweet it to me. And brûler l'ego. A burnt ego. Comme ça, like this. Ooh. And normally when I'm live, normalement quand je suis dans personne, people like taking photographs. Ils aiment ça prendre des photographes. And here, maybe you can take a screenshot. Or screenshot. Or I don't know what that is in French. And now I'm just going to have some fun and throw it in the air. Je vais lancer dans l'air. Whoa. Whoa. And this one's called Showing It Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, yeah. But wait, there's more. Let's have some fun here, folks, and end this off with a blast. Je vais faire ça, un grand final pour vous, comme ça, like this. Merci beaucoup, Canada. Thank you so much, Canada. Shri Guffer. I'm Fire Guy. Get good. Deviens bon. You never know what could happen. You might just appear on a virtual Canada Day somewhere. Oh, yeah.
Hey all, I'm Daniela Kistemacher from OMCI, and I'm going to be playing Jason Mraz's I'm Yours. It was one of the first songs that I did with my sister, and now I'm doing it here by myself. playing You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. And that is the Taylor Swift song that first made me aware of her. And I hope to play it for you all today.